Welcome back into the Sean podcast. I'm the Big Ush. This is the Cat Daddy, and we're coming back round and round for you. Gonna be previewing Week 18. Yes, you did not hear that wrong. Week 18 of the NFL season. Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
I feel indifferent about Week 18 right now because I'm so used to the season ending right now, and we're gearing up for the playoffs. And I don't know how I feel about this extra week yet.
I don't like it.
Part of me wants to already get to the playoffs. Part of me is like,
Truth.
can we try and appreciate this week? So I'm going to try and appreciate this Week 18 as much as I can, but I really want the playoffs here.
All right,
I'm giving it the benefit of the doubts, right? If they have no regard for player safety, throwing in extra games, I at least want to try and appreciate it as much as I can.
All right, so we're going to start off with our award updates. The awards are probably pretty much set in stone now, but we'll still give you an update next week, which we'll be settled on. But that being said, offensive player of the year, I think we both agree. It's down to two guys.
It is.
It's probably one guy, and it's either Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it's absolutely a two-man race. There is no person third who's even close. So for me, I have Jonathan Taylor number one still, and Cooper Kupp number two, but it's very close.
All right, next up. I'm going to fly through these, by the way. Next up, defensive player of the year. It's down to one guy.
It's TJ Watt locked it up. He
locked it up this past week, but I am going to say, before TJ Watt locked it up, I think Micah Parsons had moved up there to have major consideration. But TJ Watt is the guy.
My top three, they changed, where TJ Watt's still number one. Nick Bosa jumped to number two, and Micah Parsons jumped to number three for me. So Myles Garrett, with a few slow weeks, has dropped out of my top three completely. Micah Parsons has taken his place because that guy is playing like a man among boys. It doesn't matter if he's a rookie, if you're a veteran. If there was no context, you would have no idea he was a rookie.
I don't even know what you call him because, like, he ain't playing Terrell Suggs type stuff. This guy's like going in coverage and like legitimately playing in coverage.
Yeah. And that's the fantastic thing about him, because how hard is it for a team to game plan against him? And provided that he stays healthy for the duration of his career, and provided that he has this high level of performance, he could be a linebacker that changes the game in the way that few defenders have. I'm not going to draw a comparison to Lawrence Taylor like some people have, because that's really high praise and high expectations for a rookie to carry on their shoulders. But he has the potential to change the game in a way like Lawrence Taylor did. So that's going to be exciting to see for the years to come.
Next up, we don't need to do three. Offensive Rookie of the Year, it got locked up this past week.
You won it.
Ja'Marr Chase. Oh, wide receiver one, by the way. Wide receiver one, just wanted to remind you.
I forgot. Thank you. I needed that reminder.
Wide receiver one. Just so you know.
Hey, when you're thinking traditional mindset, you have the opportunity to have a franchise left tackle. Most teams will go for it. Cincinnati opted for a wide receiver instead. And was it a gamble? It could have been, but it's paid off, at least in year one for him. Insanely. Yeah.
Next up, defensive Rookie of the Year.
This has been locked up.
We got this man already. We just got done talking about
16 weeks. Okay.
We just got done talking about him for defensive player of the year. Defensive Rookie of the Year was no contest.
Nope. I'll throw out other names if you want me to, but it's Micah Parsons.
No need. Next up, some people think there's two names. I think there's one name. MVP. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron. Yep.
Tom Brady ain't in here. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers walks off the field to MVP chance, and they're right.
Now, the next one I think is a little bit harder. Comeback player of the year. I do have Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow almost neck and neck. I had Nick Bosa up there. I think he's falling behind. Looking at it, you can have a lot of recency bias, which I would not poo-poo on. Joe Burrow has put up nasty numbers the last 2 weeks. But if you look at their numbers overall, Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow pretty similar. And you could argue that Joe Burrow's got a lot more help from his supporting cast than Dak has recently. Now, I'm just saying, when you can just give the ball to Ja'Marr Chase 3 yards away and he just goes the whole way, well, hell.
He does that. Yeah.
Or you got Ja'Marr Chase running down the field wide effing open. But that being said, I'm not going to knock him for that. If Joe Burrow was to, I would not be surprised if either guy wins it. So that's why I've got Dak and Joe pretty much on the same line. My only thing that would maybe put Dak over a little bit is I think Dak's injury was I think Dak's had a little bit more to come back from, because Dak's even stated that he believes the injury that he had to his calf, which some people think is still affecting him right now, and he's still playing, still putting up some numbers, still doing well, was offshoot result of last year's injury. So he's still coming back from said injury, where Joe looks fully healthy.
For my top three, I have Nick Bosa at number 3. He's been my number 1 for a couple of weeks, but the past few weeks have been slow. He hasn't had an impact. He's having a career year, but if we're talking comeback player of the year, it's hard for a defensive player to win awards when they're also compared to offensive players, just because
Especially if there's quarterbacks there.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
Because teams can game plan away from a defender.
If this was a running back,
it would be a little different. But I have Dak Prescott number 2, and I have Joe Burrow number 1. Joe Burrow, he was injured his rookie year. He comes back in his second season, and he's just putting up banana numbers. Is it recency bias?
A little bit.
He's been in my top 3 for a comeback player of the year this whole time.
When he jumps from 3 to 1, you know it's a little bit of recency. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's also him leading the Cincinnati Bengals to the playoffs, because as Joe goes, so goes the team. So everything that he's done,
I agree with that.
and factoring in him being in his second year and accomplishing this, that's impressive.
I don't know if I agree with that fully.
You don't think so?
I don't know if I agree. As Joe goes, so does the team. Because as you said in a different segment, they got some heck of weapons there. And putting Ja'Marr Chase there just aligns everything appropriately. And T. Higgins' development. And I'm just saying,
right. But let's
I'm not taking away from Joe.
Let's stack up Dallas against Cincinnati. You have 3 wide receivers that are talented on both teams. Running backs have talents. Dallas has
I don't know.
Defense.
No, I don't see the talent for the Dallas running backs anymore.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers between the two. I'm just saying.
But Dallas, Dak also has a big 3 wide receiver. I'm just saying. He's got a big 3. I mean, now it's down to a big
which
2.
he hasn't played with the majority of the year, which Joe has had his all year. Michael Gallup was out for how long? Then Amari
Joe
Cooper
for
went out.
Dallas's injuries.
Was that?
You can't fault Joe for Dallas's injuries.
No. I'm not faulting him. You're the one who decided to make the comparison. So I'm following your lead here.
Right, but we're just comparing the weapons, and it's like Dak is lacking.
He has been for portions of this year.
And there have been portions of the year where the Cincinnati team has shown its youth and its inability to win games and be productive and move the ball when it counts.
Right, but they still had all those weapons.
Here we go. So the award goes to the most productive player with the least amount of weapons.
No, the award goes to the player that overcomes the most adversity.
Some people would argue that playing for Cincinnati is adversity itself.
And again, this is why I told you. I just said I would not be surprised or upset if Joe Burrow got it. I just don't have Joe Burrow above Dak Prescott for the specific reasons I said.
I know. I'm just having fun with you.
I'm just, I'm just saying. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. What do we got? Who I want to go to? I want to go to top teams in the league. Who are your top three?
All right. Number one is Green Bay. First team in history to win 13 plus games in 3 consecutive seasons. Number two, Tampa Bay. I know they just barely beat the Jets, which shouldn't have been the case, but they're looking pretty good considering they don't have a lot of weapons. It's up to Tom Brady, quite literally. And number three, they lost, but they're still my number 3 team. It's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs because that potential is sitting there. Now, it's just a matter of, do they reach Super Bowl potential like they have the past 2 seasons? Or is it the 2021 potential where your offense isn't consistent and your defense is carrying you? Because I was really surprised by Kansas City this weekend. Almost knocked them out my top 3.
All right, so my ones. Green Bay. I've got the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl, actually. I've got Kansas City up next, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City lost. And just to surprise everyone,
Detroit.
Call me a homer.
Houston.
I still have the Dallas Cowboys at the number 3 spot, mostly because I looked at this week and I was like, do I make changes because of this week? And after seeing what Tampa did, I can't make. I know they won, but I can't make changes because of that. And then I saw what the Rams did, another team that I had in contention. Can't make changes because of that. I just can't do it. So then
Bills.
I thought about teams like Buffalo. I still worry about them. Tennessee. I don't believe in Tennessee. So So then I went on the potential of all these teams, and which team in the bag do I think has the potential on any given Sunday? Oh, on any given Sunday to be up there, and it's the Dallas Cowboys. Like Dallas Cowboys play their full game. They're the top 3 team. They're the only team in my brain outside of Kyler Murray doing some nonsense that can beat Green Bay.
Dallas is number 4 for me, so they weren't too far off.
All right, next up, our bottom 3 teams.
Starting us off are the Jacksonville Jaguars. The fans are so displeased with Khan's decision to retain Bulk as general manager that this weekend the fans are planning to dress as clowns as a way to troll Khan.
Agree with you on Jacksonville. Next up,
New York Giants.
Next up.
Yep. Detroit Lions are currently fighting with Jacksonville for the number 1 pick. It's a shame these 2 teams don't play in Week 18. That would be a fun one to watch.
So, my ones are I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry, bad team. Then I have the New York Jets. And I know you might argue, well, the Jets.
No. There's no argument now.
I'm sorry, they're still a bad team.
Yes.
Still a bad team. And then I have the New York Giants. They look perpetually worse. I know. You've got injuries. Your starting quarterback's been out. Why didn't you just declare him done for the season? I don't get why they say, oh, well, he's practicing. And Daniel Jones was done when he got that neck injury. The question is, why is he not fully done? But we'll get to there. Next up, coaching hot seats. Who's your coaching hot seats?
All right. First up is Matt Rule, Carolina.
Okay.
Sam Darnold didn't fix anything.
He wasn't going to.
Cam Newton didn't fix anything.
Wasn't going to.
Stephon Gilmore didn't fix anything.
Wasn't going
Firing Joe Brady didn't fix anything. And it sounds like David Tepper currently has buyer's remorse for giving Matt Rule a 7-year deal as a coach coming out of college, because one of the bigger selling points for Matt Rule was he turned around that Temple team. He turned around that Baylor team.
But this is in college.
This is in college. And I think at this point, David Tepper's thinking, Budge, what do I do now?
All right.
Yeah.
Next up,
Mike Zimmer. Minnesota
Been on Zim
Vikings,
for a while.
you are eliminated from the playoffs. You're looking at back-to-back losing seasons, and you have no intention of playing your third-round rookie quarterback that you drafted this year over Sean Mannion. And that shows that there is a disconnect between management, who selected the player, and the head coach, who more or less decides who plays. So if it's a battle of management versus coach, I don't think Zimmer wins this one.
And lastly,
it is not going to be Matt Nagy, because it is a foregone conclusion that Nagy is going to be gone anyways. So he's not even on this list for me, so you're not going to hear that name. My number 3 is Vic Fangio. It's another loss. It's another loss to a division opponent. It's the 3rd straight losing season, and you have 0 playoff appearances to show. This is a young and a talented team, and it needs direction, and Vic Fangio just is not the person to give it the direction that it needs.
All right. So I'm going to keep Matt Nagy on mine, because I got to remind the people how I feel. So Matt Nagy stays on my list. Next up, I'm going to go Ron Rivera. I'm sorry. This team's a mess, and Ron is part of the problem. Ron could have, like you said, went in and got a quarterback like Chicago tried to do. And actually, in Washington, Justin Fields might have been in a way better situation than Chicago.
Yeah, Ron Rivera's experience using Cam Newton. Yeah.
But instead, he wanted to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, whatever.
Who played all of half a quarter? I mean, it wasn't Fitzpatrick's fault he got injured, but it's circumstances.
It wasn't. Now, I'll agree with you with Matt Rule. I just don't know if they can get out of that contract.
They
But at the same time, the other guy that I'm going to say needs to be gone, and already has been confirmed will not be gone, Joe Judge. Got to go, but I mean, I'm happy. I'm a Cowboys fan, so be the New York Giants head coach as long as they'll have you. Thank goodness. But
I still can't.
In terms of what?
They're bringing them back.
In terms of New York fans, I feel for y'all. We had a head coach that Jerry wouldn't get rid of for a while, and he's better than yours. Woo! I mean, just that little thing that you saw about where he was talking about his coaching style and how like people were wondering, are the players not reacting well to it? And he's like, I got players that are like banging on my door to come back next year. I got players. No, you don't. Stop lying.
All we hear is, I violated tampering policies and I've been in contact with players and other teams during the season. You want to come back to my team? Yeah, go ahead and put yourself in hot water, Joe Judge. Go ahead.
I do want to mention something else. You mentioned the clown stuff for Jacksonville earlier. How telling is it that Dan Quinn turned down the opportunity to interview for the Jacksonville job?
Now, did he turn it down completely, or did he turn it down for now because he wanted to focus on the season?
Well, my understanding is he opted out. I mean, you could say for now. But I'm wondering, did he get a call from one of his old buddies, Gus Bradley? Gus was like, don't do it. I've been there. You don't want to do it. Because I mean, Dan Quinn and Gus Bradley coached together in Seattle when they were winning Super Bowls. So
Mhm.
I'm just wondering. I think that's telling that like one of the guys out there who you would think would want a head coaching opportunity, but he's been weird. He also came out and said he didn't come to Dallas just to leave the next year, and he'll address that when it's time to address it. It's very weird, and I mean Jerry has a way of like paying people and giving people certain freedoms to make them like staying where they're at. Next up, we're just gonna get into the games. And
Whoa, we have Coach of the Year.
oh yes, Coach of the Year. My bad. You were tripping last one. I'm missing one here. All right, Coach of the Year, Sean.
All right, number one, Matt LaFleur still first head coach with 13 plus wins in 3 consecutive seasons, and he did not need Week 18 to do it. Number two.
He did need Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not hearing.
Oh, yeah, all right, we're gonna get started on this. He had Aaron Rodgers, yes. Mike McCarthy's final 3 years in Green Bay, they were barely above 500.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying he had Aaron Rodgers, but there wasn't a lot more with Aaron Rodgers than him. But we'll have that discussion later on. Number two,
Mike McCarthy did have a lot of injuries too, more so than LaFleur's had this year. Let's be honest.
circumstances, right?
I got you. Keep going.
Number two, Mike Vrabel. Amazing job he's done in Tennessee this season, keeping the team together through all of the adversity that they've come across, and they're fighting for the number 1 seed. I did not expect this. Number three, Bill Belichick. But I was so close to putting Nick Sirianni on my list.
Would not have. So my three. My three. I'm still going Bill Belichick. What he's done is next. He revamped the whole entire team, and they're playoff bound. I don't care if they're the 1 seed or the 5th seed. They're playoff bound, and they could contend with just about anybody. Number two, I'm going to go Mike LaFleur. Or is it Matt LaFleur?
Well, if you're going Mike, you're going the offensive coordinator from the Jets.
No, it's definitely Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Matt LaFleur because this is one thing that I've always said. Sean knows this. Wins are a team stat, not a player stat, but wins do matter when you're a head coach because that is a team stat and the head coach is the person who gets the team ready. So yes, he does have Aaron Rodgers, who I think is the best quarterback in the league right now, but Aaron Rodgers is one guy. He does have to manage the whole entire team. So the fact that he has won does play in a factor in this for me. So I am going to put him high on this list. And then number three was difficult, but I do agree with you. Vrabel does belong on the list. He lost his best player, and they're still winning. They're still playoff bound. They are the number 1 seed.
They didn't just lose their best player in Derrick Henry. Then they also lost Antonio Brown. They also lost Julio Jones, and they still strung together victories.
That bye week will go a long way.
Especially when somebody is expected to return to practice this week.
Exactly. All right, next up. All right, let's go to the games. Let's get through this. All right, now, first game. I have no clue why they flexed this game.
I know exactly why.
Because Dallas is America's team and then they make money?
Oh, we're talking about Dallas. They were talking about Kansas City, Denver.
No, Dallas and the Eagles. I have no clue why they flexed this game. Both teams have made the playoffs. Dallas is locked into the number 4 seed. Apparently, Mike McCarthy says that they're going to play to win the game.
It's
thank
the
you,
Eagles.
Herm Edwards. What?
Yeah, it's the Eagles. Come on.
Thank you, Herm Edwards, for showing up on my pod. But it's just a sole fact. At the first potential, like, someone might be getting tweaked or whatever, players are going to start getting pulled on both sides.
Yeah.
So, this is full-fledged a meaningless game, regardless if it's Dallas Eagles.
Yeah, Dallas is going to have that national draw. It's probably why they flexed up to the Saturday night game, because they have that national appeal that people on East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between would be willing to watch that game. But rookie head coach Nick Sirianni has Philadelphia in the playoffs. Who would have saw that coming? It
You know
certainly
which game-
wasn't me.
You know which game I would have flexed if I was going to flex a game?
This bunch?
There's one.
Baltimore,
One and
Pittsburgh?
No.
No.
That's a meaningless game, too. Both of them are out of the playoffs.
Nope.
Oh,
They're-
Pittsburgh has a shot.
No, they both have shots.
They do. Oh,
They
I
do.
I thought Ravens were done. No, I was going to say San Fran, LA. LA's still fighting for that number 2 spot, and San Fran's is fighting for a playoff spot. Both of them have a lot to play for, and I think it's going to be a better game.
Yeah, I don't think it has the national appeal that the NFL is looking for with viewership, though.
I think they should. I think it would, and it could if they'd allow it. But we're not here to argue which teams are popular or not. We know which team is popular, or certain teams that are popular. 2 of them that we both got on. So could be number 1 and number 2 in terms of popularity.
Yeah, I got Dallas winning this.
Yeah, Dallas winning it also. I don't know about 7. Good Lord.
I don't know about the spread, but I got Dallas winning.
Now we got KC going to Denver. KC still got a lot to play for. KC's favored by 10. KC's going to win.
See, this is a game I thought you were talking to before about why did they flex this to Saturday, because the schedule makers could have had a gem with this game. They're thinking Kansas City is an AFC powerhouse. Denver is a playoff hopeful team in Vic Fangio's 3rd year.
Nope.
That was the beginning of the season, before the season when they prepared the schedule. But fast forward to week 18, after Kansas City lost this past weekend, they no longer control their own destiny. Denver is a team that was in position just as recently as being 7-8, but they are now eliminated due to their late season slide.
This game was already on the docket, right?
No, this is one that they moved from Sunday to Saturday because nobody wants to watch this game on Sunday. I'm getting Kansas City.
Yeah. All right, next up, we got the Bengals traveling to Cleveland to play those Browns. Bengals.
Cincinnati already has AFC North. They are still in play for the number 1 seed in the AFC. Now, they need a little bit of help to get there, but Cincinnati needs to win this game. Forget playoff seeding. Cincinnati needs to show that this late season consistency is going to be strong heading into the postseason.
They
And
also need to show that they don't play down to their opponents.
yeah, this last game is going to be so important to maintain any momentum that they've gathered over these past couple of weeks. Baker's not playing. I still got Kansas City. Just pound the ball with Joe Mixon. Cincy. Just pound the ball with Joe Mixon. Save Joe Burrow's arm for the playoffs.
All right, Packers traveling to Ford Field to face those Lions. I think they sit Aaron Rodgers, even with Jordan Love. Let's see what he's got. But I got the Packers winning this.
This game does not matter at all for Green Bay. They've clinched
Well,
number 1 seed.
It does matter in a sense, but it doesn't matter for this season.
No, not for this season. Absolutely not. They have the number 1 seed in the NFC. They don't have a meaningful game for 3 weeks. But
don't tell me you don't want to see what Jordan Love does here.
Yes and no. I'd rather not see Aaron Rodgers out there
Don't
the
put him
whole
out
game. Yeah, it's going to be another 3 weeks until they had that meaningful game. Yeah.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers needs it, though. Save him.
No, that's true.
Put him down.
Rodgers, Adams,
Save them.
They don't need it. Rust them. Detroit's playing for pride.
I'm not even put Devontae Adams out there.
I think LaFleur said the starters will play. He didn't specify how long, so it might just be a
would use this
series.
game to see what Jordan Love's got without Devontae Adams, but have the rest of the offense play. I'd sit Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and I'd see what Jordan Love's got. That's what I'd do here, personally. because it
Yeah.
would be very telling going into next season. This is a perfect look against the Lions of all teams. That KC game, that was not a good game to go into with that. I think this would have been perfect, but I'm not a coach of the year candidate.
If the starters play, I don't expect them to be in there very long. They shouldn't be. The last thing you want to do is risk injury to anybody before your playoff run.
Especially considering your quarterback is already injured.
Yeah, could benefit from some extra rest, but I can't pick against Green Bay.
I'm not.
Well,
All right, next up, Chicago Bears going against the Minnesota Vikings. I don't care. Don't care.
it's so true. This is going to be such an unexciting game between two coaches that are just lame duck head coaches waiting for the dreaded Black Monday to come around.
Minnesota. That's what I'll say.
If
Minnesota.
Kirk Cousins plays, I will pick Minnesota. If Cousins sits, I will go Chicago.
All right, next we have another game I don't care about. Washington football team goes to New York to face the Giants. Picking Washington.
This is a really hard offense to trust with Mike Glennon, and I want to see the $72 million man go the entire season without catching a touchdown pass. So
Sean sounds kind of bitter.
because I drafted him in like the 6th round in our fantasy league, and
I told you not to.
going to take. There weren't a lot of good wide receivers on the board at that point.
I told you not to.
Retrospect. I'm going to take
No
Washington.
retrospect. I told you
in
before you drafted.
what could be Taylor Heineke's final game as Washington's starting quarterback. So I'm going to go Washington.
Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Jacksonville. Indianapolis technically has something to play for, I think, maybe.
They need, if they win, they're in. It's as simple
They're
as that. You win,
favored
you're in.
by 15.5.
I mean, if Carson Wentz doesn't throw the ball at all, and they just hand the ball off 48 times to
I
Jonathan
don't
Taylor,
think that
I will
matters.
take the spread.
Oh, I think they're going to win, though.
Yeah, they're going to win. They have
All
too
right.
much to play for. But, fun fact, the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014.
Interesting. Very interesting. They're
Mhm.
still going to win. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Baltimore, face the Ravens.
Both
So-
teams.
so
Both
you're
teams are
saying
alive.
There's a chance.
Baltimore needs a win and a lot to go in their favor. So it's a small margin. They have a
Saying
chance.
There's a chance.
But if Pittsburgh is in the same situation, they have to win and they need help from other teams. So who do you get?
I've got Pittsburgh winning this game unless Lamar plays.
Even if Lamar plays, I have Pittsburgh. They're already guaranteed a non-losing season, which kind of ruins my prediction from earlier about Mike Tomlin. So I'm going to go for the Steelers. I'm going to root for them to make the playoffs so they can keep the farewell tour for Ben Roethlisberger alive
Well,
and
they need
going.
something to happen for that to go down.
Yeah, they need to
That
win.
doesn't look good there.
Indianapolis needs to lose to Jacksonville, and then the
Not
Chargers-Raiders game needs to end in anything besides a tie.
So next up, we have the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. I think the Titans are going to wrap up first. The first seed here.
If Tennessee wins, they are guaranteed the number 1 seed. There is too much on the line for them to lose, and I need Houston to lose because I don't want David Culley to be my Coach of the Year pick. So go Titans.
All right, next up, we have the Saints versus the Falcons. I got the Saints winning this time around.
New Orleans stayed alive with their comeback victory last week. This week, they can secure playoffs with a win and a San Francisco loss. Atlanta doesn't have much to play for. They look bad. Arthur Smith had some work to do. Atlanta's looking at, it looks like another top 10 pick. New Orleans.
Jets going to see them Bills. Bills still got work to do. Bills are favored by 16.5. I don't know about that, but the Bills are going to be taking this one.
Yeah, the Bills already have a playoff spot. They can win the AFC East by just beating the Jets. That's all they have to do. Just beat the team that they're favored to beat by double digits. All you have to do.
San Francisco now traveling to LA. This one's difficult. The Rams should win this game. They should win this game.
Keyword.
I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams, but I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it one bit.
All right, we've had a lot of similar picks, and originally my pick was the Rams. So I'm going to switch mine to San Francisco. They need to win, and they need New Orleans to lose in order to make the playoffs. We're not sure who's starting yet for the 49ers, but just to create some difference in our picks, I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Next up, we have the Patriots traveling to Miami. Face those Dolphins. Patriots favored by 6.5. I'm going to have some fun with this one. Miami wins.
Ooh.
No losing season for Brian Flores here.
All right. New England still has a shot for the number 1 seed in the AFC. They need to win. They need some help to do it. They can also win the AFC
That help ain't
East,
coming.
but I will go New England for this.
Just for fun. All right. Seattle goes to Arizona. To face those Cardinals. Seattle blew up the other week in terms of offense. Seattle can mess with the Cardinals seeding here. I actually think the Cardinals will win this, but this is one of those types of games that the Cardinals would lose. Did you know the Cardinals have a better away record than home record?
That is not good when you're playing this big game at home.
Well, no. The record overall is 11-5. They're 3-4 at home.
Man, that's no bueno. I had Seattle winning this one either way. I know Arizona's defense is slightly different from Detroit's defense, but I think Russ is going to cook in what could be his final game in a Seattle uniform.
All right, so next up we have the Panthers going to Tampa to face the Bucks. I actually think this is going to be closer than what most people think, but Tampa will take this one.
I agree with all those points. Tampa Bay didn't look great last week. They're playing down to the Jets level. They can't afford to let that happen again. They need more momentum heading into the playoffs.
And then lastly, we have the Chargers traveling to Las Vegas, face those Raiders. And those Raiders could punch their ticket to the postseason in front of their home fans. They won't. Chargers are going to win this game.
This could be the biggest game of the week. It should
the biggest
be.
Implications.
Could be. That's assuming that the Colts beat the Jaguars.
Right.
As long as that happens, this is going to be the game of the week because essentially this will be an elimination game for the final wild card spot.
Oh my goodness, I just checked that other one that you were talking about. Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what Pittsburgh's away record is? No, guess what Baltimore's home record is?
Oh goodness, what, 2-6?
5-3 is their home record.
Wow.
Guess what Pittsburgh's away record is?
No, I hope it's better than 5-3.
2-5.
No. Ruh-roh. Let's hope those emotions are running high for Ben Roethlisberger to get this dub. Final game here, though. Man, it would be so crazy if Las Vegas won.
It would be. But I don't think they will. I think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm with Chargers.
And then I think they may pull the Chiefs, and we'll have another classic. All right. But with that, that's all she wrote for this week's show. I will say this. Do not falter. No matter what your team does this week, no matter what your team did last week, you never know what happens until the playoffs happen. You get in the dance, anything can happen. We've seen 6 seeds win the Super Bowl. We've seen 5 seeds win the Super Bowl. Anything can happen.
Yep, and if your team doesn't make the playoffs, you have the draft to look forward to, unless you're Seattle, Los Angeles Rams, or Chicago Bears, and you have no first-round pick.
It sucks to be them.
Yep.